In today's lesson, we will explore the key differences between a literature review and a research study article. We will also learn when and how to write each type of document. Additionally, we will examine the content of the literature review and research study articles. Hey everyone, I hope you're all having a fantastic day. This is Annie from Environment. If you ever feel like you don't understand a scientific article, don't worry, you're not alone. The foundations we are covering in this class will help you understand the purpose of scientific articles, allowing you to generate your questions and read others' work with ease. Welcome to my new class series, Academic Writing and Publishing 101. I'm excited to embark on this journey with you as we explore the art of crafting a manuscript from scratch. My goal for this first lesson is to establish a strong foundation for effective academic writing. This will empower you to achieve your ultimate objective, publishing a high-quality manuscript in a scientific journal. Sharing your ideas and knowledge with both the scientific community and the public can be extremely rewarding. Publishing your work can significantly enhance your career by building a valuable research portfolio and fostering professional development. Whether you aspire to thrive in academia or industry, the skills you gain here will enable you to communicate your ideas clearly, precisely, and professionally. Getting published can have a lasting impact on your field, influencing future studies and contributing to the broader discourse, which is always gratifying. Being published can open the door to new collaborations with fellow researchers, institutions, and industry partners, which can help propel your projects and ideas forward. So, whether you are driven by personal, professional, or intellectual aspirations, embrace your creativity and discover your unique voice as an academic writer. Although this class focuses on academic writing, the principles we cover will also apply if you wish to write your thesis, dissertation, or submit a proposal for a project or a funding. Now let's dive into today's lessons together, shall we? The main points of academic writing include a formal tone, a structured format that follows standards, reliance on evidence and data, an objective presentation without personal opinions, emphasis on clear and concise language, and the ability to convey complex ideas clearly and effectively, so your readers or audience will understand. Now let's start with the key differences between a literature review and a research study article. What is exactly a literature review? The simple answer is that it's a summary. A more detailed explanation is that a literature review is an academic paper synthesizing existing research on a particular topic, summarizing and analyzing the related literature on already published studies or theories. What exactly is the goal here? The goal is to provide an overview of the existing research, highlight key findings, identify gaps in the existing knowledge, and suggest areas for further investigation. It doesn't present new experimental research, but instead summarizes and critically evaluates existing research studies. Literature reviews are commonly found in scholarly journals, theses, dissertations, and research reports. They are helpful for researchers to get an overview of a field of study, understand the evolution of theories or methods, and position their research within the broader academic conversation. For instance, if you start a new project, whether for a homework assignment, thesis, dissertation, or proposal, it's essential to begin with a literature review to better understand your project. This is the actual first step in research as well. Therefore, always start by conducting a literature review. No excuses. I know it's more fun to jump into your work or experiment, but believe me, you won't regret writing a literature review later. Now that we understand the term literature review and its purpose, let's examine the different types of literature reviews. The first common type is systematic literature reviews, which aim to review critical points of current knowledge on a topic related to research questions and suggest areas for further examination. These reviews are used in research and policymaking to inform evidence-based decisions and practices. They must have transparent methods that clearly state how you conducted your literature review research and therefore can be replicable. For instance, you can ask a broad research question at the beginning and then describe the research that has been undertaken concerning that question. Let me show you an example of what I mean. But first I have to clarify that I didn't write this article, I didn't participate in the research, and I don't know the authors. I just found it. So our first example is for the systematic literature review. And I just Googled a topic about artificial intelligence, using artificial intelligence, AI in water management. Those are the keywords I used. And let's take a look first at the title. So it's the application of artificial intelligence, AI in drinking water treatment processes, possibilities. So how do I know this is a systematic literature review? Well, the title doesn't really give an indication yet, but it gives me an indication about what the author's trying to find. So let's take a look at the abstract. In this paper, these publications were reviewed with the goal of assessing the development and application of AI techniques in water treatment plants and determining their limitation and areas for improvement. So this is the goal of the literature review, but it still doesn't give us a good understanding that this was done systematically. So let's go down, let's check out the introduction. And here in the last paragraph, inside the introduction section, we see this, highlighted it with green. In this review, the selected articles were systematically reviewed in terms of application of AI techniques to the water treatment plants, their advantages and limitations to date in context to the noted issues. So they already indicated here this was systematically reviewed, but also if they wouldn't have mentioned it, how would I know that this was done systematically? Well, because they focused on 4 broad groups. So basically how they did their search, how they carried it out, they divided the articles into 4 broad groups: coagulation, flocculation, membrane filtration, DBPS formation and control, and pollutants. And then they searched for each group. Feasibility of applying AI techniques were investigated separately. We're going to talk about these later in the next section about the methodologies. But also I want to mention they looked up in a broader time period since 1997. Okay, but and then a more detailed explanation of the technique. But this is the main point here, that they divided into 4 broad groups, and that's how they made their search. So this is basically it. And now let's take a look at the scoping literature review. The second common type is scoping reviews. Scoping reviews allow the readers to understand the scope of the existing studies and what the authors learned about the topic. They also identify gaps in the literature and their recommendations for future areas of scholarship. Let's look at an example. I have to clarify that again, that I didn't write this article, I didn't participate in the research, and I don't know the authors. I just found the article. Here our second example for today's lesson, and this is for the scoping literature review type. So let's go and do the same as we did with the previous one. First, the topic is within the AI utilization for water management purposes. So let's take a look again at our title: Application of Integrated Artificial Intelligence Geographical Information System in Managing Water Resources, a review. So what this title indicates, at least, that this was a review. And but still doesn't indicate it's a scoping literature review. And the objective is within the abstract. You can find that the target subject of this reviewed study concerns the forecasting of water resources using artificial intelligence and or geographical information systems, which can be useful in addressing the challenges mentioned previously. This is their goal was inside the methodology section. You can see a comprehensive search was conducted in the first phase of this review study to identify relevant scientific literature focusing on the application of artificial intelligence AI and geographic information systems GIS in the field of water resources. So that was their goal. Now this is getting more interesting. The following thorough review process 70 relevant papers covering a wide range of water resource topic. A range, that was their methodology. A scope, the papers were published from 2019 to 2023. Another scope, another range capturing the recent advances in the field. Then they examine the published papers also through globally. That could be another global coverage, another scope. You can see there's a slight difference between the types of literature reviews. Regardless of the type you choose to conduct, carrying out a literature review helps you better understand your topic and positions you within your field of expertise. I believe these are the most important types, let's say the beginner levels or the most commonly used ones. Others, like critical literature reviews, are intended for more advanced researchers, in my opinion. It's better to start with either a systematic or scoping literature review if you are just beginning. If you are interested in more details about these two types or prefer to hear about the other types, please write them in the comments below. I'm eager to read your comments. So choose the type of literature review that will best fit your research questions. Why is this important? Because if you want to publish your work and submit it to a journal, after the editor accepts your manuscript, the reviewers might ask, what type of literature review did you submit? First, define your goal for the literature review. What questions do you have in mind? What do you want to understand better? Later, while looking up published articles on your topic, you will find that your research question begins to evolve and become more specific. It's also essential to check the published literature on your topic to ensure it exists and to determine its status. Is it something that is over-researched, requires further investigation, or is it completely new with no previous discussion? Let's say, for example, you want to know the current state of knowledge on using artificial intelligence in water management. Then I would conduct a scoping review covering the last 4 to 5 years to understand the current insights and what has been accomplished so far in this topic. Now that you have the foundations for understanding the purpose of conducting a literature review, let's continue by understanding what a research study article is. The simple answer is that it's a scholarly document presenting the results of a research investigation conducted on a specific topic or question. A more detailed explanation is that research study articles are crucial to academic communication. They allow researchers to share their findings, contribute to ongoing conversations in their field, and build upon the work of others. They can cover various topics from experimental studies and clinical trials to surveys, case studies, and theoretical explorations. Their purpose is to contribute new knowledge to the field of study. Let's look at the published article on the topic I mentioned. I have to clarify again that I didn't write this article, I didn't participate in this research, and I don't know the authors. For the research study article, it's within the same topic I searched previously. It's about utilizing AI in water management. And let's take a look at this title. Machine learning approach for water quality predictions based on multispectral satellite imageries. So they used a machine learning approach to check water quality predictions. This was definitely an experimental study. let's take a look within the abstract of their main objective of the study to retrieve a map and map the water quality parameters, and they have different sources, different data, and different models they used. All right. How they carried out this study represents the first attempt to demonstrate the applicability and performance of high spatial resolution remote sensing satellite sensor to predict water quality. So it's another indication that this was a research study, an experimental study, that the authors actually brought in new results and new discussion into the research community, because this was the first attempt to demonstrate the applicability and performance. So this sentence already indicating the novelty of the present article. Another indication that this is a research study, not a literature review, that they had a study area within the materials and methodology section, and they also had field sampling and satellite data. Now, I'm going to talk briefly about the content of an article. The key features of an article typically include the title, authors, affiliations, keywords, abstract, introduction, materials and methods, results, sometimes along with the discussion, or sometimes discussion separately, conclusion, and references. I will talk about these in more detail in our next lesson. Don't worry if your writing isn't perfect right from the start. Remember that practice is key to improvement. Experiment with different techniques, tools, and styles that resonate with you. Embrace your unique voice and creativity in your academic work. Engage your readers, and you'll find success in your writing journey. Don't forget, you're not alone in this. We are all here to learn and grow together. I'm happy to tell you that I've created a free manuscript template that you can download to help kickstart your academic writing journey. I've always found that writing on a ready-made template is more motivating than starting with a blank Word document. I hope it will be the same for you. You can find a link to my website in the description below to get your free template. Enjoy! I hope you find today's lesson beneficial and insightful. Please feel free to post your questions and concerns in the comments. I'll do my best to address them within the available time. That's all for today. I hope to have you in the next lesson, where we will dive into the details of a manuscript's content using many examples. See you all in the second Academic Writing and Publishing 101 lesson.